I We're at the last story. See? The last story of this book. Volume 1. The Bible Story by author S. Maxwell. And we're at the last story in this. It's one book. Got many books. More books. I think 9 more to go. Part 4. Story 11. The Boy with a Friendly Spirit. If Rebecca was the girl with the kindly heart, Isaac was the boy with the friendly spirit. He always thinking of others and how he might help them. Nothing ever seemed to upset him. You remember how he behaved on Mount Moriah when his father explained what God wanted him to do, that God wanted him to be sacrificed up as a offer him up as a sacrifice. Then how deeply mournful of his then how deeply he mourned for his mother, and how happy he was when he saw Rebecca. In all these ways he revealed the sweetest kindness of his character. As years went by and the same loving quality shone out again and again in his life. When Abraham died, he was 170. When Abraham died in his 175th year, what do you suppose Isaac did? He sent for Ishmael, whom Abraham had sent away from the camp long years before. Together they buried their father in the cave of Machpelah, Machpelah, where Sarah had been laid to rest. Then go to the next page. Stuff together. Really haven't been opened up as much. Okay. Only someone of real greatness would have thought of doing that. Isaac had been named the sole heir of Abraham's vast possession, and this could easily have gone to his head and made him proud and selfish, but it didn't. He could have tried to keep the limelight on himself and forgotten everybody else. But no. Instead, his first act after his father's death was to share the funeral service with his lonesome half-brother. Not long after this, Isaac heard the Philistines were filling up the wells that his father had dug in various parts of the country. This news would have made most men very angry, for in those days and in that sort of country, wells were the great importance, being the only source of water for cattle. No doubt while Abraham was alive, the Philistines had envied him his large herds of cow and his many flocks of sheep and goats. And when they had heard of his death, they probably said to themselves, "Now is our chance to get some of his lands for ourselves. Let's fill up his well and drive his animals away. As for his heir, we don't need to worry about him. He hasn't anything like a strong man. He isn't anything like like a like as strong as a man of his father." But Isaac, they met had a new kind of strength. He didn't attempt to fight them as they thought he might. Instead, he was just friendly with them. And that is something they didn't know what to do about it. Coming one day to the valley called Gerar, Isaac's servants reported to their master that all the wells that Abraham had dug there was filled in. Instead of losing his temper as others might have done, Isaac merely said, "All right, dig them out, dig them again." So his servants quietly went to work and reopened the wells. Hardly had they done so, however, when a local herdsman crowded around and tried to start a fight. "That is our water. That water is ours," they shouted. "Very well," said Isaac. "Let's not fight about it." And he ordered his servants to move on a little way and dig another well. Hardly had the water been found in this well when, however, then the same people who fussed over the first one came running up and shouting, "That water is ours too." This must have been very hard for Isaac and his servants to take. Digging a well at any time is not an easy job, and in a hot climate it might have been hard, very hard work. And now to be told that the water they had labored to find doesn't belong to them was enough to make most men want to fight back. Not Isaac. "You shall have it," he said. "We'll go somewhere else and dig again." And that is exactly what he did. And the Bible said, "And he removed from thence and dug another well, and for that he strove not. And he called the name of it Roboth, Rehobot, Roboth, meaning room. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be faithful in this land." And then, of course, it does have the uh, illustration of the burial of the tomb of Sarah, the artist's rendering of it. And these pages stick together. There we go. And then, what's this say? "Truly the Lord did make room for Isaac, but he did not through the sweet and kind he did it through the sweet and kindly spirit he showed to those who opposed him. They simply couldn't fight a man like that. So he won by just being patient and kind, and by so doing he left behind friends instead of enemies." Just then, the very same night, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am God. I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and will multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake." It was just as though God had said to him, "I am so pleased you acted this way. You did over those wells. I love you for it. That the that is the spirit I want to see in all my children. Never fear to do right. Remember, I am with you, and I am going to bless you with bless you as I promised your father Abraham. For it is something for us to remember when others are mean and rude to us, if we try to treat them kindly and tenderly, God will be pleased with us as he was with Isaac, and the blessing he promised will be ours also. Whew, my eyes are starting to get tired. And I'm almost through with this. We know this is true because of what Jesus said one day. Love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which art in heaven. If only every boy and every girl were like Isaac and Rebekah, having a kind heart and a friendly spirit, what a happy place this world would be. And then, of course, the illustration of them digging a well. And that was the end of our book, our volume 1 book. And I will start on the second one here soon. And I hope you're enjoying this, even though it takes a lot out of you. But see you next time.